Yo, what's up, everybody? It's me, Tim Keys, and I'm back. I wanted to talk about the MPC Key 37 that, at this point is highly speculated and probably going to come out very soon. If you've been on the internet for the past week, you've seen this at some point. If you're in any of the MPC forums or any of the Discord groups or chats, this picture has come up and we've seen all of the pictures with them. There we go, outside with the boxes and everything. And I'm here for it. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm here for it. Um, I think the 37 key. I think it's interesting um, because you already got the 61 key, and the 61 key is for I think it's a very powerful machine. I've played one a few times. It's nice. I like the concept. I know some people don't get down with the keys like that, but I think for what it is, taking that MPC, idea, the ability to chop up samples and then put everything together and having the sounds in one board, I think that's dope. And then adding the different plugins that you can purchase or whatnot, again, I think that's dope. Having everything in a one-stop shop, so to speak, to get the majority of your needs met, aside from some limitations here or there. It'll definitely allow you to get your ideas out and go to work. And so I think that's dope. And the 37 key, in my opinion, is just like another option. So if you don't want to spend the 1400 on the 61, or you don't necessarily want to deal with the space, but you kind of want to have the keys built in and you want to have the plugins built in, assuming this is legit, which it looks like it is, the 37 key might be a good option for you because you might be able to have enough space. It might be light enough that you can take it with you, if you're gigging, or if you're a traveling producer. You might not necessarily always want to take the live and then have to hook it up to a small MIDI controller, although I know that's the move. Now you got everything, in one machine, and you get 37 keys as opposed to the mini keys. So, like that could be a legitimate option. So, from that respect, I think it's a good look for a Kai. And just to have, multiple tiers of instruments for different budgets so that everybody can kind of like get access. Like you can get the XSC, you can get the Live 2, you can get the Plus 1. Now you can get the keys, or you can get the keys 37 if this thing is legit. Like, I think it's smarter of them to do that because now you can target multiple groups of folks within a market and within a budget range. That's dope. Will I get one, or do I think it's worth it to get one? I think that's going to depend solely on your needs and wants and how you get down. Um, you know, that in that respect, like if you already got what you got, then you probably don't need the keys. But then again, like that's on you. It just depends on what you want. I don't know. For me, I got the software. At every time I think about buying the full-fledged keys, I'm like, yeah, I want one. And then I kind of like I skim back on it because I'm like, well, I could do everything in the computer anyway. And I got the software anyway. And the computer is always going to give me more power than the standalone unit. But having that standalone unit, if I start traveling again more frequently, having something like this, or even the Live, is like it's a smaller footprint. I can take it with me, come and go as I please, hook up my stuff, take everything apart and go. Versus having the bigger units, like you can't really uproot with that. And sometimes, yeah, it's cool to have the stuff on the laptop or on the desktop, but you have a different experience when you work with the machine and you got everything laid out in front of you. So that's just been my experience. Now, from a marketing standpoint, I know you'll have a mix bag in terms of some people are all for it. Some people are like, look, man, we kind of we've been through this already. You got a Kai trying to sell salt to a slug, and you know, I think I could see that. I could definitely see that. I think on the other end, what Akai is doing is pretty unique in the respect that they are literally, I don't know how to articulate it. Like they got a multifaceted machine that you could do everything in one shop. And then like because they own Air Music, like Akai Air Music is all under In Music, like they could just reach out to them and be like, hey, develop this new plugin, which is how we got the Jura and the Model D on top of all the other stuff that comes built into the machine. Like it's nothing for them to say, hey, let's build an Oberheim model plugin, or let's build some sort of knockoff wavetable plugin and like just include it in the machine, or take one of like the old Air products and just include it. Like, hey, we're gonna take this plugin and we'll just include it. You have to pay for it, but we'll make it for the MPC, and now it's a part of that package. Like, so they're doing something really smart in that respect. And the only companies I can think of that comes to mind that have done this or have tried to execute this has been Korg and OpenLab. So y'all remember with Korg back in the day, the 2008 Oasis that came out, 2007, 2008, like the big boy machine right here, like it was essentially, it's a computer in a box. You could say that about all of them, but what made the Oasis and then later the Kronos and now the Nautilus unique was it was supposed to be like, yeah, you have this incredibly powerful machine that can do all of these different things. It was expandable through the plugins. In Korg's case, as they developed more plugins for it, you can buy those additional plugins. So the Oasis didn't initially have like I think it's the Mod 7 engine, but you could purchase it later on. There's a couple of additional expansions that you could purchase and put into the machine later on. Then unfortunately they discontinued that, and then they went with the Kronos and included a lot more stuff in the Kronos out the gate for a cheaper price point. But then like over time, like they added like different piano libraries that you could download into the machine and use, and so you could expand it that way, which was pretty cool. And then in my opinion, that's still the machine to beat. But in terms of how the MPC has done their stuff so far over the past 8 years, they've done a really good job in terms of trying to meet the needs of the customers and having that flexibility in their product range. Of course, there's the Nico. Like, I don't know if people remember the Nico, but even now you can still find these, and this one looks like it's updated with the new operating system. That's either Windows 10 or 11. And so you could buy this and like put your software in that and just go. And it's got the PreSonus interface already included at the bottom. But again, this is one of those machines that it's just infinitely expandable. Unfortunately, this didn't last that long because it was too expensive when it came out. But I mean, you can get something like this and add all these different plugins. That probably was a very overwhelming for the average user, and then the maintenance on it. But something like this, Akai is able to easily manage because it can control pretty much all of the stuff from point A to point B in terms of the software and the features that's in it. So I think they're doing a good job on that end. And it's cool to see them be able to add these new plugins here and there that you can put into your machine and have these features. And it just makes it that much more powerful of a unit that you can use. On the other hand, if Native Instruments was to do something like this, I know they started with the Machine Plus, like standalone, and then they added a couple of their products into the machine. I think like Massive, the OG edition, and what's the other one, FM8. So they put that in the machine along with the ability to sample and whatnot. If they were to take their software and really put it in one of those keyboards. Like I know they just released the new keyboard recently, a couple months ago. Could you imagine if like Native Instruments actually like got on the ball, got their stuff together, and was like, bet, we're gonna come out with a keyboard and put, you know, our stuff in it, put Contact in it, put some of those libraries into their keyboard along with some of their software like Old Massive, FM8, maybe some Reactor libraries, and sell it for about, you know, good couple dollars, $2,000, $3,000, because you got to recoup that back. But could you imagine how much money they could make? But they probably should have did it about 10 years ago. So yeah, right now it looks like MPC Keys is, you know, the thing. It'll be interesting to see like how this thing pans out. You know, hopefully they won't have so many bugs like the Key 61 did when it first came out. Hopefully they'll do a better job of testing and troubleshooting those units so that by the time they start putting that stuff out, you know, you won't be upsetting your customer base and just using them. Yeah, I ain't gonna get into that. Hopefully this works out well. At some point I'll break down and probably buy me a modern unit and not just use the software. I'm finna wrap this up. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. Are you excited about the MPC Key 37, or are you just like, nah, man, it's a wrap. I'm good with what I got, and I'm gonna stick with what I got. Or are you just like, you know what, I don't even mess with the MPC. Let me know your thoughts. I'm Tim Keys. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for listening to me yak. I'm out. Peace.